Welcome to Tracy Talks. You know, last time I left it at that your marriage is really important, and I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to talk with my sisters here in the marriage bed about marriage, because, you know, when you have a crappy marriage, it really just makes you have a completely crappy life. And when you have a great marriage, it makes you have just an incredible life every day. And the one piece of advice that I just thought of that we can talk about is that every single marriage has good days and has bad days. It has good weeks and it has bad weeks. And sometimes it has good months and bad months. The whole month is crap. And then sometimes it has a whole year that really stinks. And so a lot of people, they have that stinky year and they're like, the person I'm married to is a jerk. They're horrible and I married the wrong person. But no, you know what? Any person you marry, there's going to be times in your 50 years together where it's going to take dips, because life is like that. Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high, sometimes it's in the middle. And if you would just wait it out and actually work on your marriage during that time and do everything you can to seek godly counsel, go to a Christian counselor, to get advice from friends, to talk about it and not hide it in the dark, but to bring it to the light, I believe God can take those hard times and make your marriage even stronger. Right, girls?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I know I've had bad years even. I've been married 17 years. How long have you guys been married?
10 years. It'll be 5 years in May.
Yeah. And so I've had, I think, out of the 17 years, I think I've had 2 to 3 different specific years that were really bad. But we really worked on it, and we got through it and came out on the other side, and now we're stronger because of it. Mm-hmm. What kind of advice do you guys have?
I think it's hard to just say anything because it depends on each person or each couple's situation and where they're at. You know, because thousands of things are coming to mind. Not 1,000, I haven't been married that long, but a few things come to mind, and it's like I want to say them all, but it depends. I think the first and foremost is God has to be first for both of you. I can't rely on my husband's spirituality, his relationship with God. He can't rely on mine. I have to initiate that with God alone, and then trust my husband to do that and trust him to lead us where God wants. You know, knowing when's the right time to say, hey, you know, I think this, and when's the right time to say, I trust you and I know that you're seeking God, and I'm going to just go with you even though everything in me wants to fight it. It's hard to be submissive in that way. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn, and I think I'll probably keep learning it the rest of my life as I'm married, but definitely it's an important one, that God's first and knowing how to trust your husband to lead your family.
Yeah. Something I have thought about is just always speaking highly of your husband. We talked a little bit about it earlier, about not only to him and encouraging him, but also in public, even when he's not around. Seems like I'm around a lot of women who all they want to do is bash their husbands, and I think even though they may think it's not a big deal because their husband isn't there to hear it, I think it undermines some part of your marriage a little bit, that slowly you're seeing him in a different light if you're constantly talking negative about him or the things that he does wrong or whatever it may be. So I've always tried to speak really highly of Mike, and to always make sure I'm his biggest fan in what he does, like his passions. He needs to know that I care about those too, and that I am an encouraging part of that. So that's all I can think of at the moment.
And you were saying that too earlier about speaking into your husband what you would hope to be there, remember?
Well, I said that, you know, if you are always, like, go to your husband and be like, oh, I hate it when you leave your clothes on the floor. You're such a slob. Well, yeah, your husband's going to be a slob. But even if you can't, you know, even if it's the smallest thing, and you say, I am so thankful that you put this toilet seat down today. Thank you so much. You're just so wonderful. He's going to start becoming those things as you encourage him, because there's something inside of him that's going to want to do more for you because he sees what it means to you, even in the smallest things. That, you know, like you said, not just to other people, but also to him, speaking positively he is going to become those things because our words are powerful.
Mm.
And our children are going to see that.
Yeah, there's a really good book by Dr. Laura Schlesinger called The Proper Care and Feeding of Husbands, and I highly recommend it. And one of the things she says is to really appreciate your husband, to show him appreciation and adoration. I had some, we used to be youth pastors, and two of the kids in our youth group grew up, got married, and we went to visit them, and the whole time we were hanging out with them in Denny's, she was just had her arm around him, and she was just listening to him, like everything he said was the most funny thing in the world, and she was rubbing his leg, and you know what she was doing? She was adoring him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never seen that before. And all I knew was that I wasn't doing that with my husband. I didn't adore him. And so I learned through this book I was talking about how easy it is just to adore your husband. It's not like some rocket science thing. Really, what it is he walks in the door and you're like, oh, I'm so glad you're home. I missed you. And give him a kiss. One sentence, one kiss. He's happy for hours. Us, we're kind of difficult to please. We want a back rub, we want this, we want that. It changes every day. But men, I mean, nothing against them. I mean, they're incredible. This is an incredible gift they have, that they're kind of easy to please. You know, some good food, some good time in the sack, and a lot of encouraging words, and they're happy, you know. And I think it's important to do that. Like, another thing I learned from my pastor's wife a long time ago, she said to make sure that the house is clean when they come home. Like, just pick up real quick, throw it in the closet if you have to, put out the tables even if dinner's not ready, be like, oh, I've been waiting for you, light a candle, and it just makes them feel like, oh, I'm home. It makes them glad to come home, instead of coming home to like, where have you been? Blah, blah, blah. Here, take it. And of course I've done that too, but I try my best to try to make a welcoming environment when they come home from work, if you're a stay-at-home, you know, mom.
Yeah, that's good. I read that too, about even just the simplest things, depending what's, you know, important to your husband. But if just having a clean house is important, how much comfort and safety that brings to him when he walks into a home where, you know, you just vacuumed, you just tidied up. It's not like you have to, you know, scrub with a toothbrush every corner, because I don't.
You don't?
But that it brings him there's comfort and safety in that, and that he can come home, and I want to provide that for him.
I agree. Yeah. It does make them, that moment when they come home, like just a respite from whatever craziness they're having at work. And something else too, in addition to like having that home be a real safe zone for them, is to also get out and to have a date night as well.
Yes.
That's really important. If it's once a week or once a month, or it's worth finding a babysitter, it's worth finding a friend.
Or trade babysitters.
Yeah, to do something, to get out and reconnect and talk without the craziness of maybe kids crying or talking. And it's good for your kids to see that too, that you still go out and you still love each other and want to spend time together. And like I tell my kids that, you know, I like spending time with Daddy. I like going out and talking to him. And I think they kind of giggle like that's really exciting to them. So that's another recommendation.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what we do is we try to plan it every week. And then that way, if it doesn't happen, you know, 2 times that month, at least we went out twice that month. And it's good for, to totally reconnect. And we've gone out when we're angry at each other. We just go anyway. Fine, I'm going out, fine. Slam the door. But by the time we get home, what we do is we pretend like he's dropping me off from a date. And I'm like, well, goodbye, honey. I'll be like, goodbye, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you at school. Like, pretend. And then I kiss him goodbye, and he walks back to the car. And then he gets to turn around and come inside and be with me, which is kind of exciting. So thanks for coming for Tracy Talks. I hope your marriage is blessed. And our prayer for you is that even through the hard times, that you will make it through till the end, and you can be a little old couple holding hands walking down the beach, all gray and wrinkled and happy. So hope you subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.